Hello, guys. I'm at work. I don't know how long I'm going to be. No worries. I just want to get through this book and be done with it. I've had enough of it. Yeah. It's all lawyer talk now. It's actually really quite boring, and I don't understand some of it because of that. I don't know. I keep forgetting it's written by a prosecutor. So I'll just finish this. I'll just start right away so I can get done over with, and then we can pick a book, a different one that's actually pretty good. I'm almost done this. Right now we're on part 7. Yeah, it's called Murder in the Wind. Hey, Cool Gamer. Hey, Lori. There's a wicked thunderstorm. Oh, they kind of freaked me out. Oh my god, I'm so cold. It says it's 16 degrees out. It feels like it's like maybe 4. I'm freezing. I almost want to turn my heat on. Can't believe I just said that. It's only September. Hey, SD. Hey, Autistic Show. I probably won't need any help. Don't worry about it, Autistic. I just want to read this and get it the heck over with. November 19th, December 20th, to December 20th, 1970. Fitzgerald said the defense had rested, but the 3 female defendants now shouted that they wanted to testify. Calling counsel into chambers, Judge Older demanded to know exactly what was going on. There had been a split between the defense attorneys and their clients, Fitzgerald said. The girls wanted to testify, their attorneys opposed this, and wanted to rest their case. Only after an hour of intense discussion did the real reason for the split come out. In an off-record admission by Fitzgerald, Sadie, Katie, and Leslie wanted to take the stand and testify that they had planned and committed the murders, and that Manson was not involved. Hey, Melanie. Charlie had tried to explode his bombshell, but the attorneys for the girls had managed to defuse it, at least temporarily. Standing up against Manson for the first time, Ronald Hughes observed, "I refuse to take part in any proceeding where I am forced to push a client out the window." The legal problems thus created were immense, but basically, they came down to the question of which took precedence: the right to effective counsel or the right to testify. Worried that whichever course Older might be reversible error on appeal, I suggested he take that matter to the state Supreme Court for a decision. Older, however, decided that even though their attorneys had rested and had their clients not to take the stand, the right to testify supersedes any and all other rights. The girls would be permitted to take the stand. Hey, Jesse. Older asked Manson if he also wished to testify. No, he replied. Then, after a moment's hesitation, added, "That is, not at this time, anyway." On returning to open court, Kanarek made a motion to serve Manson so he could be tried separately. On returning to open court, Kanarek made a motion to... Oh, I just read that. Oh, my God. Charlie was now attempting to abandon ship while letting the girls sink. After denying the motion, Older had the jury brought in, and Susan Atkins took the stand and was sworn in. Day Shin, however, refused to question her, stating that if he asked the questions she prepared, they would incriminate her. Shin's remarks, in themselves incriminating, were later stricken from the record. This created a whole new problem. Returning to chambers, Older remarked, "It is becoming perfectly clear that this entire maneuver by the defense is simply one, to wreck the trial. I do not intend to permit this to happen." Still in chambers and outside the presence of the jury, Susan Atkins told Judge Older that she wanted to testify to the way it happened, the way I saw it happen. Am I missing something? What pick, Jesse? My boss called us in second shift. Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. I'm sorry, I'm just finding it really hard to concentrate. It's becoming perfectly clear that this entire maneuver by the defense is simply one to wreck the trial. I do not intend to permit this to happen. Still in chambers and outside the presence of the jury, Susan Atkins told Judge Older that she wanted to testify the way it happened, the way I saw it happen. The court said, "You are subjecting yourself to the extreme risk of convicting yourself out of your own mouth. Do you understand that?" "I understand that," she added, as if she was convicted. "Let them convict me on the truth. I do not wish to be convicted on a pack of lies taken out of context and just scattered every which way. Because, Mr. Bugliosi, your foundation is just crumbling. I've watched it crumble. You have been a sly, sneaky fox." Oh, that's awesome. That's sweet. Well, Lucy says, "Why do you want to put it back together for me, Sadie? If it is crumbling, you should be happy. You can go back to Barker Ranch if it's crumbling. Why do you want to take the stand to help me?" Shin said he would ask to be relieved as counsel if Boulder ordered him to question his client. I need a minute. I'm sorry. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. Fitzgerald replied similarly, adding, "As far as I'm concerned, it would be sort of aiding and abetting a suicide." The matter was unresolved when court recessed for the day. Yeah, I'm fine. The following day, Manson surprised everyone by saying that he too wanted to testify. In fact, he wanted to go on the stand before the others. Because of possible Aranda problems, however, it was decided that Manson could just first testify outside the presence of the jury. Manson was sworn rather than have Canerat question him. He requested and received permission to make a statement. He spoke for over an hour. He began almost apologetically, at first speaking so low that spectators in the crowded courtroom had to lean forward to hear. But after a few minutes, his voice changed, grew stronger, more animated, and as I already discovered in my conversations with him, when this happened, his face seemed to change too. Manson the nobody. Manson the martyr, Manson the teacher, Manson the prophet. He became all these and more, the metamorphosis often occurring in mid sentence. His face a light show of shifting emotions until it was not one face, but a kaleidoscope of different faces, each real but only for the moment. I'm sorry, I have to go get my inhaler. I can't breathe. He rambled, he digressed, he repeated himself, but there was something hypnotic about the whole performance. In his own strange way, he was trying to weave a spell, not unlike the ones he had cast over his impressionable followers. Manson says, "There's been a lot of charges and a lot of things said about me and brought against the co-defendants in this case, of which a lot could be cleared up and clarified. I never went to school, so I never growed up to read and write too good. So I have stayed in jail and I have stayed stupid and I have stayed a child while I have watched your world grow up. And then I look at things that you do and I don't understand. You eat meat and you kill things that are better than you are. And then you say how bad even killers your children are. You made your children that way. These children that come at you with knives, they are your children. You taught them. I didn't teach them. I just tried to help them stand up." Most of the people at the ranch that call you the family were just people that you did not want, people that were alongside the road that their parents had kicked out, that did not want to go to juvenile hall. So I did the best I could and I took them up on my garbage dump and I told them this, that in the love there is no wrong. I told them that anything they do for their brothers and sisters is good if they do it with a good thought. I was working at cleaning up my house, something that Nixon should have been doing. Wow. He should have been on the side of the road picking up his children, but he wasn't. He was in the White House sending them off to war. The book I'm reading is called Helter Skelter. It's about Charles Manson. Right now, I'm in the court proceedings. I'm almost done this book. I'm so happy about that. I told them that anything they do for their brothers and sisters is good if they do it with a good thought. I was working cleaning up my house, something that Nixon should have been doing. He should have been on the side of the road picking up his children, but he wasn't. He was in the White House sending them off to war. Yeah, he's a psychopath. Absolutely. Hey, Bryson. I don't understand you, but I don't try. I don't try to judge nobody. I know that the only person I can judge is me. But I know this, that in your hearts, in your own souls, you are as much responsible for the Vietnam War as I am for killing these people. Wow. I can't judge any of you. I have no malice against you and no ribbons for you. So this is Charles Manson speaking right now. So if these words are kind of all over the place and they don't make sense, I'm reading verbatim exactly what he's saying. But I think that it's high time that you all start looking at yourselves and judging the lie that you live in. I can't dislike you, but I will say this to you. You haven't got long before you're all going to kill yourselves because you're all crazy. And you prote- project it back at me, but I am only what lives inside each and every one of you. My father is the jailhouse. My father is your system. I am only what you made me. I am only a reflection of you. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I kind of agree with that. I mean, it doesn't give him an excuse, but the product of his being, what he is, he's had a very bad childhood. It's no excuse. Everybody's had something traumatic, I believe, that happened to them in their childhood, right? I really do believe that. Some worse than others. I mean, really bad, really bad. If you can let your mind go there, you know what I'm saying. And because of that shit, you become a better person. You don't do this. You don't do what he did. Absolutely not. Hey, Catherine. I have 8 of your garbage cans to stay out of jail. I have wore your secondhand clothes. I've done my best to get along in your world and know you want to kill me. And I look at you and then I say to myself, you want to kill me? Ha, I'm already dead. Have you been all my life? I've spent 23 years in tombs that you built. He has been in prison, in and out of prison, his whole entire life. His mother, I believe, was a prostitute. He did not have a very good childhood at all. At all. But like I said, I agree with what he's saying. He's a product of the environment and how he grew up. I just don't agree, obviously, with what he did. I can understand some people go to the dark side because of these reasons, where when this happens to somebody, most people don't do this shit. I grew up rough. My parents had issues. My dad went to prison when I was a child, and he was in prison with Manson. He talked with Manson at San Quentin. My childhood was hell, but I chose to do better. Exactly. That's fucking scary that he was in prison with them. Wow. He must have did something bad, like really bad. Exactly. My childhood was hell too. I'm sure pretty much the whole audience can tell you their childhood was a piece of shit. It was hell. It was awful. But you know what? Doesn't mean you get to grow up doing what he did or what others do, In that respect, I don't blame him for turning into the singer, but not if he's. Yeah, exactly. He had a horrible childhood, but that doesn't warrant unaliving people. Absolutely. I totally agree. I get it, but it doesn't make it right because you have the right to choose, and he chose the negative. Sometimes I think about giving it back to you. Sometimes I think about just jumping on you and letting you shoot me. If I could, I would jerk this microphone off and beat your brains out with it because that is what you deserve. That is what you deserve. Yeah, he's psychotic. Oh, shit. I pressed the wrong thing. My childhood was so bad, but I didn't kill anyone. Exactly. And I feel no remorse for him being dead. Me either, Catherine. No way. If I could get angry at you, I would try to kill every one of you. If that's guilt, I accept it. These children, everything they done for the love of their brother. If I showed them, isn't that just him admitting it then? These children, everything they done for the love of their brother. It's so confusing. If I show them that I would do anything for my brother, including giving my life for my brother on the battlefield, and then they pick up their banner and they go off and do what they do, that is not my responsibility. I don't tell people what to do. These children, indicating the female defendants, were fighting themselves. What they did, if they did whatever they did, it's up to them. They will have to explain that to you. It's all your fear, You look for something to project it on, and you pick out a little old scroungy nobody that eats out of a garbage can and that nobody wants, that was kicked out of the penitentiary, that has been dragged through every hellhole that you can think of, and you drag him and put him in a courtroom. You expect to break me? Impossible. You broke me years ago. You killed me years ago. I mean, I almost feel I read about what happened to him in his childhood, and I'm in all these reformatories and stuff, and I'm telling you, it was really bad. And it almost makes me feel a little bit sad as he's saying these words. Um, for the child he was, for that. I feel bad for the child Charlie Manson was. That's who I feel bad for. I definitely don't feel bad of what he became, but what he was when he was a young boy, yeah, that broke my heart reading what happened to him. It was really fucking bad. If certain theories are to be believed, he was literally made to be a killer. Allegedly, he was in the MK Ultra program and programmed to start race war. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt at this point, SD. I've heard that too, actually. Yeah, if you have, actually, that's a good question, Catherine. If you have any videos or anything that you want to point me to after I'm done reading this, we could watch them. We could watch that. Or if there's like a news article on the web. He spoke like a prophet, so it only made sense in his own head. That is one of the craziest things about these types of serial killers. Yeah, I agree. The judge older asked Manson if he had anything further to say. Manson says, I have killed no one, and I have ordered no one to be killed. I may have implied on several different occasions to several different people that I may have been Jesus Christ, but I haven't decided yet what I am or who I am. Some called me Christ, Manson said. In prison, his name was a number. Some now want a sadistic fiend, and so they see me as that. So be it. Guilty, not guilty, they are only words. You can do anything you want with me, but you cannot touch me because I am only my love. If you put me in the penitentiary, that means nothing because you kicked me out of the last one. I didn't go or didn't ask to get released. I liked it in there because I like myself. Jesse. I actually really, really, really like Manson's music, especially the Emperor. That was awesome. I like that CD. There's a theory that says Unabomber Ted was in MK Ultra as well. Wow, that was horrible. I have to look for it. I've got random articles galore saved. Okay, yeah, just even if you think you can remember a title or something, I'll look it up and we'll look at it. Telling Manson, you seem to be getting far afield, Older asked him to stick to the issues. Manson says, the issues? Mr. Buglioso is a hard-driving prosecutor, polished education, a master of words, semantics. He's a genius. He's got everything that every lawyer would want to have except one thing, a case. He doesn't have a case. Were I allowed to defend myself, I could have proven this to you. The evidence in this case is a gun. There was a gun that laid around the ranch. It belonged to everybody. Anybody could have picked that gun up and done anything they wanted to with it. I don't deny having that gun. That gun has been in my possession many times. Like the rope was there. Sure, he brought the rope, Manson admitted, 150 feet of it, because you need rope on a ranch. The clothes? It is really convenient that Mr. Baggett found those clothes. I imagine he got a little taste of money for that. The bloodstains? Well, they are not exactly bloodstains. They are benzidine reaction. The leather thong. How many people have ever worn moccasins with leather thongs? The photos of the 7 bodies, 169 stab wounds. They put the hideous bodies on display and they imply, if he gets out, see what will happen to you. Helter Skelter. It means confusion, literally. It doesn't mean any war with anyone. It doesn't mean that some people are going to kill other people. Helter Skelter is confusion. Confusion is coming down around you fast. If you can't see the confusion coming around you fast, you can call it what you wish. Conspiracy? Is it a conspiracy that the music is telling the youth to rise up against the establishment because the establishment is rapidly destroying things? Is that a conspiracy? The music speaks to you every day, but you are too deaf, dumb, and blind to even listen to the music. It's not my conspiracy. It's not my music. I hear what it relates. It says rise. It says kill. Why blame it on me? I didn't write the music. After the witnesses, for example, Danny DiCarlo, he said that I hate black men. And he said that we thought alike, but actually, all I ever did with Danny DiCarlo or any other human being was reflect him back at himself. If he said he did not like the black man, I would say, okay. So consequently, he would drink another beer and walk off and say, Charlie thinks like I do. But actually, he does not know how Charlie thinks because Charlie has never protected himself. This is so, oh my God, this is all over. Oh my God. There's investigators are still finding bodies at the ranch. Wow. Every woman has a little Marilyn in her, whether it's Manson or Monroe is anyone's guess. Hey, T King. Had to watch the first 23 minutes on 2x speed, all cut out. Oh, okay. Hi. I don't think like you people. You people put importance on your lives. Well, my life has never been important to anyone. Linda Kasabian. She only testified against him because she saw him as her father and she never liked her father. So she gets on the stand and she says when she looked in that man's eyes that was dying, she knew it was my fault. She knew it was my fault because she couldn't face death. And if she can't face death, then it's not my fault. I can face death. I have all the time. In the penitentiary, you live with it, with constant fear of death because it's a violent world in there and you have to be on your toes constantly. Diane Lake, she wanted attention. She would make trouble, cause accidents to get it. She wanted a father to punish her. So, as any father would do, I conditioned her mind with pain to keep her from burning the ranch down. Yes, he was a father to the young girls and boys in the family, but a father only in the sense that he taught them not to be weak and not to lean on me. Paul Watkins wanted a father. I told him, to be a man, boy, you have to stand up and be your own father. So he goes off to the desert and finds a father image in Paul Crockett. Yes, he put a knife to Juan Flame's throat. Yes, he told him he felt responsible for all these killings. I do feel some responsibility. I feel a responsibility for the pollution. I feel a responsibility for the whole thing. He didn't deny that. He had told Brooks Poston to get a knife and go kill the sheriff of Shoshone. I don't know Sheriff of Shoshone. I am not saying that. I didn't say it, but if I said it at the time, I may have thought it was a good idea. To be honest with you, I don't recall ever saying get a knife and change of clothes and go do what Tex says, or I don't recall saying get a knife and go kill the sheriff. In fact, it makes me mad when someone kills snakes or dogs or cats or horses. I don't even like to eat meat. That is how much I am against killing. I haven't got any guilt about anything because I've never been able to see any wrong. I have always said, do what your love tells you, and I do what my love tells me. Is it my fault that your children do what you do? What about your children? Manson asked angrily, rising slightly in the witness chair, as if he were about to spring forward and attack everyone in the courtroom. You say there are just a few. There are many, many more coming in the same direction. They are running in the streets and they are coming right at you. I have no fucking clue what he just said. Wow. He's just mumbo jumbo. See what's trying to throw stuff to see if it fit, like would stick. And he's good at it because he was using the ploy about his time in jail and how everyone threw him away and whatnot. And that actually made me feel bad for him because I just told you guys that I feel bad for the child, right? Oh, fucker, he got me. There's so many problems with society, but really he was mad because that producer stole money of his music and didn't give him credit. It wasn't about anything else. He's trying to make it sound okay. Yeah. He sent me a link to an article, and there's a book called Charles Manson, the CIA, MK Ultra. I need to read that book. That one would be interesting. I had only a few questions for Manson, none of which came from the notebooks I kept. Question. You say you're already dead. Is that right, Charlie? Dead in your mind or dead in my mind? Define it any way you want, Charlie. As any child will tell you, dead is when you are no more. It's just when you are not there. If you weren't there, you wouldn't be dead. How long have you been dead? Manson evaded a direct reply. To be precise about it, do you think you've been dead for close to 2,000 years, don't you? Mr. Bugliosi, 2,000 years is relative to the second we live in. Another question from Bugliosi. Suffice it to say, Department 104 is a long way from Calvary. Isn't that true? Me too, Melanie. Manson had testified that all he wanted was to take his children and return to the desert. After I reminded him that the only people who you can set free so that... Are you fucking kidding me, Dom? Sorry. After reminding him that the only people who can set you free so that you can go back to the desert are the 12 jurors in this case, and noting that, though he had testified for over an hour, the final question: Mr. Manson, are you willing to testify in front of the jury and tell them the same things that you have just testified here to open court today? Kanarek objected. Older sustained the objection, and I concluded my cross. Yeah, I'm right. I just wanted to finish this, Teresa. To my surprise, Older later asked me why I hadn't seriously cross-examined Manson. I thought the reason was obvious. I had nothing to gain, since the jury wasn't present. I had lots and lots of questions for Charlie, several notebooks full. If he took the stand in the presence of the jury, but in the meantime, I had no intention of giving him a dry run. However, when Older asked Manson if he now wished to testify before the jury, Charlie replied, I have already relieved all the pressure I had. Thanks, Melanie. Dude just didn't have a few screws loose. He was outright missing anything to put the screws into. Yeah, I have to agree with that, Catherine. I was so mad. I went to the store to get my daily dose of my Coke Zero. They didn't have any. They didn't have any Coke. They didn't have any Diet Coke. I was like, what? So I had to get Pepsi, just plain old Pepsi. I mean, it's all right. I want my friggin' Diet Coke in a can, freezing cold. Yeah, this isn't very fizzy. It's got an ice cube in it. Ugh, whatever. As Manson left the stand and passed the council table, I overheard him tell the three girls, you don't have to testify now. The big question: what did he mean by now? I strongly suspected that Manson had given up, but was only biding his time. After the defense had introduced their exhibits, Judge Older recessed court for 10 days to give the attorneys time to prepare their jury instructions and arguments. This being his first trial, Ron Hughes had never argued before a jury before, or participated in drawing up the instructions what the judge would give the jury just before they began their deliberations. He was obviously looking forward to it. However, he confided to a TV newscaster, Stan Atkinson, that he was convinced he could win an acquittal for Leslie Van Houten. He wouldn't even get the chance to try. I love Coke Zero. Oh, I want one so bad. But it's got to be, it's got to be Coke Zero. It has to be in a can, and it has to like come out of the fridge as like I just took it out of the freezer. It's got to be ice cold. I couldn't believe they didn't have it. This is 3 days in a row. I went looking for this. Thank you, Autistic. Holy crap. Thank you, honey. You are my woman. Sorry, what he says. Like, you're my woman. Diet Coke must be served frosty cold. Pepsi just so wrong, right? This is like a friggin' tease. It's not as fizzy, and I don't know. I might have to go to the gas station. But the thing is, they don't have cans either. They have bottles, like a 2-liter bottle, but they don't have. God damn it. Yeah, it's so flat compared to my Coke Zero, my Diet Coke. Oh, damn. This being his first trial, Ron Hughes had never argued before a jury before, or participated in drawing up the instructions, which the judge would give the jury just before they began their deliberations. He was obviously looking forward to it. However, he confided to TV newscaster Stan Atkinson that he... Whew. Pepsi doesn't like me. He was obviously looking forward to it, however. He confided to TV newscaster Stan Atkinson that he was convinced he could win an acquittal for less... I already read that, didn't I? When court resumed on Monday, November 30th, Ronald Hughes was absent. Quizzed by Older, none of the other defense attorneys knew where he was. Fitzgerald said that he had last talked to Ron on Thursday or Friday, and that he sounded okay at the time. Hughes often spent his weekends camping at the Hot Springs, a rugged terrain some 130 miles northwest of Los Angeles. There had been floods in the area the past weekend. It was possible that Hughes had been stranded there. The next day, we learned that Hughes had gone to this place to the Hot Springs on Friday with two teenagers, James and Lauren, and Miss Elder's Volkswagen. The pair, who were questioned but not held, said that when it began raining, they decided to return to LA, but Hughes had decided to stay over there until Sunday. When the two tried to leave, however, their auto became mirrored down, and they were forced to abandon it and hike out. What do you mean, what's wrong with you people? Let me guess, you like Pepsi? I'm not bashing it. Am I blind? I don't see Jill B. Like at all. I see Alberta. Hey, Alberta. I see Benita and Reagan. Hey, guys. Where the heck is Jill? I don't see her at all. Are you seeing things, Teresa? Is it me or is it you? Pop is just way too sweet for me, so I drink diet. Yeah. I don't know. I just like the taste of diet. Because I definitely am not doing it for drinking diet pop to be on a diet. Hell no. You guys know me. I'll eat anything. I just like the taste of it. But only Coke Zero or Diet Coke. I can't stand Diet Pepsi. That's why I just got normal Pepsi. Jill B upgraded her membership. I didn't even see that. You don't like chocolate? What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. Oh, she did. And she sent, oh, she was able to, okay, that's what it was. She was a member for 2 months, so she got to send a free super chat. And it was, hi, Nikki, it's. It's probably Jill B, I think she meant to say. Aw. Hey, Jill. Hey, Tori. Creams A&W root beer is my son's favorite. It's like the only one that he has to drink. Abby and I have jokingly threatened to stab each other over peanut butter. Yeah, chocolate's good. I bought Starburst for a snack tonight. Okay, and I also got cheddar cheese popcorn and licorice. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just kidding to get all that. Okay, whatever. Fine. I got the Pepsi. I definitely got the Starburst, and I got the cheddar cheese popcorn. I did buy all that. Yes. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for everything. You are an amazing person. Thanks. I really need to hear that, honestly. Am I doing okay? Hi, Kira. Am I doing okay? Woke up into the pits of another group of folks. You know what, Kira? I'm just breathing. That's all I need to do. Just breathe. I'm just staying out of it, Kira. I'm not like them. Why is there two here? One says, thanks for everything, you're an amazing person, and the other one says the same thing. That's weird. Do you see two, Teresa? I see two. From Jill B, I mean. And it's showing up as two, but it's only one, I think. I don't know. But thank you very much. Yeah, A&W. And they don't use ice in A&W at all either. You're allergic to fish and shellfish. Yeah. I'm wondering. I haven't read through it all, but oh, you super chatted twice by mistake. Well, thank you. I thought so. I'm like, there's two things here. Well, thank you very much. Even though it was a mistake. Yeah, there's no ice in the A&W root beer. They serve it at a certain temperature, and I've tried it the way it is. You buy it when you're at the restaurant, and it is pretty good. Three other youths had seen Hughes on the morning of the following day, Saturday the 28th. So so this Hughes guy, who is he for? He's for Manson, I think. Yeah, because it says this being his first trial, Ron Hughes had never argued before a jury before or participated in drawing up the instructions with the judge and deliberations. He was obviously looking forward to it. He confided in a newscaster that so he was for Manson's side. Okay. So Ronald Hughes is an attorney for Manson's side, and Ronald is missing. Uh-oh. So he went camping and decided to stay where the young couple left. Three other youths had seen Hughes on the morning of the following day, Saturday the 28th. He was alone at the time and on a high ground, well away from the flood area. Chatting with them briefly, he appeared neither ill nor in any danger. Polygraphed, the three were found to have no additional knowledge, and they were not held. Since Forsher and Elder had last seen Hughes a day earlier, they apparently were not polygraphed, and their story was taken at face value. Owing to the continued bad weather, it was 2 days before the Ventura Sheriff's Office could get up a helicopter to search this area. In the meantime, rumors abounded. One was to effect that Hughes had deliberately skipped either to avoid argument or to sabotage the trial. Knowing Ron, I seriously doubted if this was true. I became convinced it wasn't when reporters visited the place where Hughes lived. He slept on a mattress in a garage behind the home of a friend. According to reporters, the place was a mess. One remarked that he wouldn't even let his dog sleep there, but on the wall of the garage, neatly framed and carefully hung, was Ronald Hughes' birth certificate. Oh, that's why. So you got your. Oh, okay, I see. Thanks, Kira. It sucks watching my family have shrimp, crab, salmon, and shit, and I'm sitting there like sad with my cheeseburger. Kind of sounds funny because like I love cheeseburgers, but I get it. Yeah, I know what you mean. I like that stuff too, except for shrimp. I only liked shrimp when I was pregnant. Ah, shit. I'm sorry, Chris K. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Go tend to that. Poor girl. I got my fingers, eyes, and toes crossed for you guys because that's awful. I could just imagine. Although there were numerous reports that a man fitting Hughes' description had been seen in various places, boarding a bus in Reno, driving on the San Bernardino Freeway, drinking at a bar in Baja, no one checked out. On December 2nd, Judge Older told Leslie Van Houten that he felt a co-counsel should be brought in to represent her during Hughes' absence. Leslie said she would refuse any other attorney. On December 3rd, after consulting with Paul Fitzgerald, Older appointed Maxwell Keith co-counsel for Leslie. Wow, he's missing. That's really scary. You're not going to go to bed tonight. No, of course it's okay. No, that's what we're all here for. That's all we're all, yeah, actually, I'm sorry to put you out there, Selfie, but Selfie Queen Cindy has always said to anyone um, that if anybody's had any addiction issues or know of anybody or you just want to talk, please get a hold of Selfie Queen. I'll get you guys in touch. She's awesome for that. She really is. Yeah, she said, "I'm so sorry. Please tell your daughter she is a warrior and she's got this." Yeah, she's awesome. Okay, I will. No, you're not overstepping. Hell no. That's why I'm mentioning it. I'm throwing you under the bus, Sophie, not the other way around. I just know you always say that on your channel. And I would love you two to talk because you know what? You might be able to help her. Yeah, both of them for that matter. Yeah. So there you go. Just can you put your email in there, Sophie? I'll get Sophie Queen. I'll get Cindy to put her email in here. A quiet, somewhat shy man in his mid-40s, whose conservative clothing and courtroom manner were in a sharp contrast to those of Hughes, Keith had an excellent reputation in the legal community. Those who knew him well described him as a conscience, total ethical, and completely professional, and it was clear from the start that he would be representing his client and not Manson. There you go. It's in here. Yeah, she is awesome. Oh, Bryson might have some information too. And that's Sophie Queen Cindy's channel. She often talks about addiction. She has her own story, which if you watch her videos, you'll see. And I'm sure she does talk about it every now and then. So she's a really good, a good person to have around, you know. There's her email, Chris. Sensing this, Manson asked to have all the defense attorneys dismissed. They aren't our lawyers, they won't listen to us. So he and the girls could represent themselves. He also demanded that the case be reopened so they could put on a defense. They had had 21 witnesses waiting to testify, he said. Both requests were denied. All right, you have a good night, Jesse. Keith had his work laid out for him. Before he could prepare his argument, he had to familiarize himself with 152 volumes of transcript, over 18,000 pages. Though Judge Older granted a delay until he could do so, he told all counsel, "We will continue to meet every day at 9 a.m. until further notice." Older obviously wanted to count heads. Several days earlier, Steve K had overheard Manson tell the girls, "Watch Paul, I think he's up to something." I made sure Fitzgerald learned of the conversation. One missing attorney was more than enough. That's actually scary. I hope nothing happened to him. Hey, Heavenly Cow. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Chris. Neither the air search nor a subsequent ground search for the area yielded any trace of Hughes. The abandoned Volkswagen was found, with a batch of court transcripts inside, but other papers Hughes was known to have had, including a secret psychiatric report on Leslie Van Houten, were missing. Oh no, I'm already sensing foul play. I sent you a message too. I don't know if it was yesterday or not. It was just responding to what you sent me, though. That was all. Oh, what did I miss from Melanie? I detox off H, being clean. That's amazing. Yeah, that's what I always say too with people that have overcome that alcohol or drug addiction. You guys are warriors. Absolutely. On December 6th, Paul Fitzgerald told reporters, "I think Ron is dead." On December 7th, an all points bulletin was issued for Hughes. LASO admitting, "This is something you do when you have no other leads." On December 8th, Judge Older went to the Ambassador Hotel to inform the jury of the reason for the delay. He also told them, "It appears fairly certain that you will be sequestered over the Christmas holidays." They took it much better than expected. On December 12th, the search for Ron Hughes was suspended. Oh, do you guys think he's DEAD? It was just a reply, that's all. But thank you for letting me know, Sophie. I appreciate that very much. The most persistent rumor was that Hughes had been murdered by the family. There was, at this time, no evidence of this, but there was more than ample cause for speculation. That's what I'm thinking. Is that he was murmured. Though once little more than an errand boy for Manson, during the course of the trial, Hughes had grown increasingly independent, until the two had finally split over whether there should be a defense, Hughes strongly opposing his client's take to the stand to absolve Charlie. I also heard from several sources, including Paul Fitzgerald, that Hughes was afraid of Manson. It was possible that he showed his fear, which, in Manson's case, was like waving a red flag before a bull. Fear turned Charlie on. There could have been several reasons for his murder, if that was it. It may have been done to intimidate the other defense attorneys into letting Manson put on defense during the penalty trial. One was so shaken by Hughes' disappearance that he went on a bender, which ended his arrest for drinking and driving. Holy shit. Equally likely, it could have been a tactic to delay the trial with the hope that it would result in a mistrial or set the stage for a reversal on appeal. Speculation, nothing more, except for one odd, perhaps unrelated incident. On December 2nd, 4 days after Hughes was last seen alive, fugitives Bruce Davis and Nancy Pittman, aka Brendan McCann, voluntarily surrendered to the police. Two of the family's most hardcore members, Pittman, had been missing for several weeks after failing to appear for sentencing on a forgery charge, while Davis, who had been involved in both the Hinman and Shea murders, who had picked up the gun with which Zero had committed suicide but had somehow left no prints, and who was the chief of suspect in the slaying of the two young Scientology students, had evaded capture for over 7 months. Maybe it was just that proximity in time that linked the two events in my mind. Hughes' disappearance, Davis and Pittman's surprise surrender, but I couldn't shake the feeling that in some way the two incidents might be related. On December 18th, 3 days before the Tate LaBianca trial reconvened, the Los Angeles County Grand Jury indicted Steve Grogan, a.k.a. Clem, Lynette Fromm, a.k.a. Squeaky, Ruth Ann Morehouse, a.k.a. Osage, Catherine Scher, a.k.a. Gypsy, and Dennis Rice on charges of conspiracy to prevent and dissuade a witness, Barbara Hoyt, from attending a trial. That was when they secretly gave her the LSD and the drug they gave her, and she almost died from. 3 other charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, were dismissed by Judge Choate on a 995 motion by the defense. Although we had presumed, as I suspected, the involved family members had also, that an overdose of LSD could be fatal, we learned from medical experts that there was no known case of anyone dying from this case. There were many cases, however, where LSD had resulted in death from misperception of surroundings. For example, a person conceived he could fly, stepping out the window of a tall building. I thought of Barbara running through the traffic in downtown Honolulu. That she hadn't been killed with no fault of the family. The result, however, was that despite the best efforts of LaBianca's detectives, the DA's office had a very weak case. Pending trial, 4 or 5 were released on bail. They immediately returned to the corner outside the Hall of Justice, where they would remain on and off during most of the remainder of the trial. Since Osage, and who had given Barbara that LSD-laden hamburger, was nearly 9 months pregnant, Judge Choate released her on her own recognition. She promptly fled the state. Nancy Pittman, who had been arrested with Davies, was freed on the forgery charge. She was rearrested later while trying to pass Manson a tab of LSD in the visitor's room at the county jail. After servicing 30 days, she was again free to rejoin the group on the corner and subsequently to become involved in another murder. Holy crap. These people are insane. Gonna go watch this. Alrighty, traitor. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, hey, Ron. Text me from her job. She won't be home until late. That's okay. Yeah, that's all right. No worries. Tell her no worries. That's fine. It's all good. I read this book when I was 18. I'm 53 now, and hearing it again is as chilling as the first time. Yeah, this first time I'm reading it, so it's really scary. Some of it's too much court talk, and it's really boring, and then it just goes boom right back to reality. It's quite scary. Just trying to see how many. Another long chapter. Oh yeah, this one's long as heck. I'll read a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to take a quick, small, tiny break. I'm going to go grab an Advil. My throat's killing me every time I read too long. Hey, Masked Angel. All right, just give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab some more Pepsi. Oh, my Diet Coke. I'm going to play some music while I'm gone. All right, me back. I thought I'd go to the phone booth while I was at it. All right, I gotta shut these curtains. It's all dark outside. People can see right in. It's creeping me out. There. Perfect. Yeah, I think a lot of us, you know what I find? I find that pretty much all of my subs, well, all of you, not pretty much, sorry. Well, yeah, no, I can't say that. Okay, so all my subs are amazing. You guys are amazing, right? And then I find there's like there's also a few of them too that are almost like overly nice, like me. And then I find out that they've also had childhood trauma. I don't know. And then I find out that we've all had addictions to something. And it's just like, I don't know, I'm trying to say this as nice as I can. And I feel like, not that I need to try and say it nice because not, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm including myself in this. I just find that we're like so much better people. Like my group of people that I have, you guys all in here, it's like we all come together and we all have like the same issues and we're all a lot alike, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. I also want to say that this, oh my God, it smells amazing. It is 24 karat gold glow oil. So apparently it's 24 gold shimmer, golden jojoba oil, coconut oil, rosehip oil, hazelnut, avocado, sunflower, vitamin E, and fragrance oil. And I put it on the back of my hand. So it's got all these little gold specks in it and it smells amazing. So I put it on the back of my hand and rub both of my back of my hands together. And now I'm smelling them. They smell amazing. You guys still there? Oh, okay. Kindred spirits, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't get my words out. Okay, you're still there. So does that mean we're in a cult? Uh-oh, I can't wear pants. No pants, guys. How many times do I have to tell you? No pants. Well, we are in here. Can you imagine? This is a cult. We're in a no pants stream. Yeah, half naked. Pretty much. All right, I'm just going to read a little bit more. It feels like I'm stuck on this one spot and I just can't get over it. That's okay, I'm naked, she says. All right, December 21st, 1970, January 25th, 1971. When court reconvened, the four defendants created a disturbance. Manson throwing a paper clip at the judge, the girls accusing him of doing away with Hughes, all obviously planned actions to garner the day's headlines. Holy crap, they're menaces. I guess joggers are considered pants. It's too cool for that. Fall is coming. Pants are leg prisons. Leg prisons. Oh my God. Everybody's naked. Judge ordered the four removed. As Sadie was being escorted out, she passed behind me. Though I didn't see what happened, I felt it. She knocked over an exhibit board, hitting me on the back of the head. Those who witnessed the incident said it appeared she was lunging for the buck knife, which was on a nearby table. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm sucking back my Kool-Aid right now. Today's flavor is grape. Tomorrow we're going to do cherry. Thereafter, the knife was kept well out of the reach of the defendants. Can you imagine? These people are nuts. Wrong cult. Maxwell Keith then told the court that though he now felt himself familiar with the evidence from having read the transcripts and other documents, he was not at all sure he could effectively represent his client, since he had not been present when the witnesses testified and therefore could not judge their demeanor or credibility. On this basis, he requested a mistrial. Though Keith argued persuasively, Judge Older denied the motion, observing that every day attorneys argue cases in court without having been present during the actual trials. Once this and several other motions were out of the way, it was time for the people's opening argument. This is entirely separate from the opening statement, which is delivered at the start of the trial. During the guilt phase of a trial in California, the prosecution delivers an opening argument, which is followed by the opening argument of the defense or rebuttal, and last, a closing argument or final summation by the prosecution. Thus, the people have the last word during the guilt trial. Are we in Jonestown? No. Nah, we're a cool cult. Calm down there, Jim Jones. Yeah, actually, wait. We're going to switch to the raspberry lemonade. Or that watermelon one you were talking about last night, Teresa. What was that again? I think it was watermelon something. Oh, that sounds so good. I rarely wear pants, usually dresses, and not because I'm Mormon. During the penalty trial, if there is one, each side gives two arguments, with the defense being allowed to argue last. I had spent several hundred hours preparing my opening argument for the guilt trial, starting even before the beginning of the trial itself. The result was continued in some 400 handwritten pages. By this time, I knew their contents so well, I didn't even need to read them, but only glanced at them periodically. I began by discussing in depth, with charts and other aids, the points of law and jury would have to consider murder, conspiracy, and so on. The instructions which the judge would give the jury are printed. Formal statements of law that use novellas of abstract terms that often even lawyers don't understand. Moreover, the judge does not tell the jury how these rules of law apply to the facts of this case. Thus, in the jury's mind, the rules are floating lazily in the air with no thread connecting them to anything tangible. In each case I try, I make it a point to simply supply that link by the liberal use of common sense examples, by translating legals into words and thoughts the jury will understand, and by literally tying those rules to the evidence. Oh, it tastes like the watermelon Jolly Ranchers. I love that. Okay, so the Heaven Gates website is still up. What? As if you just looked and it is. That's crazy. Yeah, no. I can't believe it's still up. After I'd done this, I got into the principal part of my opening argument, summarizing the testimony of each witness, often quoting verbatim the words he had used on the stand, interrelating this testimony with the other evidence, and drawing inferences from it. Though the presentation took 3 days, it was a tight, cohesive package, and by the time I had finished, I felt confident that I had established beyond all doubt Manson's control, his motives, his involvement, and the involvement of Watson, Atkins, Carmichael, and Van Hill. Apparently it got to Charlie. At the end of my opening statement, he had tried to bribe Deputy Maupin to free him. The night after I completed the first day of my opening argument, he tried to break out of jail. Holy crap, these people, man. People still follow Heaven's Gate, minus the group sues. Oh, really? Okay. Though the incident was officially denied by LASO, one of the deputies told me the details. Despite daily searches of both the person and his cell, Manson had managed to obtain an incredibly long piece of string, at the end of which he had attached a small weight. By some unknown means or manner, for the area was supposedly under constant surveillance, he had got the string across the walkway in front of his cell and out a window where it reached a full 10 stories to the ground. One or more Confederates then attached the contraband. However, something must have happened which prevented Manson from pulling it up, for when a deputy came around the corner of the Hall of Justice the next morning, he spotted the string and its cargo, a lid of marijuana, and a hacksaw blade. Holy. Accepting a promise that they would behave, Judge Older permitted the 3 female defendants to return to the court the next afternoon. Manson, who said he had no desire to return, remained in the lockup listening to the proceedings from there. I had just resumed my argument when Leslie created a disturbance. Sadie and Katie followed suit, and each of the 3 was again ordered removed. This time, Sadie was led in front of the lectern where I was standing. Suddenly, without warning, she kicked one of the female deputies in the leg, then grabbed some of my notes, tearing them in half. Grabbing them back, I involuntarily muttered beneath my breath, "You little bitch." Though provoked, I regretted losing my cool. The next day, the Long Beach Independent bore the following page headline: Manson prosecutor takes swing at Susan. Oh my gosh. According to reporter Mary, the case was capped by the chief prosecutor swearing and attempting to slug one of the defendants. Pelosi slapped the girl's hand, grabbed his notes, and then swung at her, shouting, "You little bitch!" Oh my god. Nice. That's the headline in a newspaper. Can you imagine? In common with everyone else in the courtroom, Judge Older saw the incident somewhat differently. Describing it for the record, he branded the charge that I was struggling with Susan absolutely false. There was no struggle between Mr. Bugliosi and anybody. What happened was she walked by the rostrum and grabbed the notes off the rostrum. Well, I'd like to say this was the only inaccurate press coverage during the trial. Unfortunately, that counts as several reporters, including a representative one, of the wire services, whose reports appeared in papers all over the country, were often so error-filled that reading them gave one the feeling that the reporters had been attending another trial. On the other hand, such reporters as John Kendall of the Los Angeles Times and Bill Farr of the Los Angeles Herald Examiner did an excellent job, often catching little nuances even attorneys missed. After Carmichael had been removed, Judge Older called counsel to the bench and said that he had had it. It is perfectly obvious to the court that after LO, these many months, the defendants are operating in concert with each other. I don't think any American court is required to subject itself to this kind of nonsense day after day after day when it's perfectly obvious that the defense are using as a stage for some kind of performance. Older then stated that defendants would not be permitted to return to the court during the remainder of the guilt trial. How long? Why did it take him so long? I've been saying this since how many chapters ago? I don't know why the hell they let them in there. I'm gonna catch the replay, but I'm taking a 24-hour social media break. I wish you know what? I'm not going to say I wish. I should too. Please tell Jesse and Nikki sorry and we'll see them. No, don't be sorry. Do it. I should do the same damn thing. Honestly. Starting right after the stream, 24 hours with no social media. I'm going to watch a movie though, but I mean no interaction whatsoever. Just relax. It's a good idea. I had hoped to finish my argument before court recessed for the Christmas holiday, but Canarack's multitudinous objections prevented my doing so. The feelings of the jurors at being sequestered over Christmas were exemplified by one who hung up the hotel menu and wrote "the humbug" across it. Though they were permitted family visits and special parties had been arranged at the Ambassador, it was for most miserable time. None had anticipated being away from home this long. Many were worried whether they would still have their jobs when the trial ended, and no one, including the judge, would even venture a guess when that would be. On weekends, both jurors and alternates, always accompanied by two male and two female deputies, had taken trips to such places as Disneyland, the movie studios, in San Diego Zoo, many probably seeing more of Southern California than they had in the whole of their lives. They had dinner at restaurants all over Los Angeles. They went bowling, swimming, even nightclubbing, but this was only partial compensation for their long ordeal. To keep up morale, the bailiffs exhibited considerable ingenuity. For example, though the trial, most of the action took place in chambers and newsmen could find little to report, at such times Bailiff Bill Murray often cut huge sections out of the newspapers just to make the jurors think they were still in the headlines. But the strain was getting to them. Older people, for the most part, they were set in their ways. Inevitably, arguments broke out. Factions developed. Our temperamental male juror slapped bailiff and or one night when, against his wishes, she changed channels on the communal TV. Often Murray and Orr sat up to 4 or 5 a.m., listening to a juror's complaints. As we neared the end of the guilt trial, I began worrying not about the evidence, but about the personal disagreements the jurors might be carrying into the jury room with them when they began their deliberations. It only takes one person to hang up a jury. Were you just dancing? Were you just dancing? What were you doing? Well, I heard you and felt something. Yeah. Oh my god. Weirdo. I will catch the rest of the replay. Emily D. Baker is on. Yeah, no worries. Ooh, what's she doing though tonight? I can't remember which one. We all need time off sometimes. Do what is best for you. Please take care of it. Yeah, I agree, Joe. All of us should. I did that on the weekends. I went to Santa Cruz over the weekend. No social media, just sun, sand, and ocean. I need to do that, but unfortunately, we're in the fall. Hopefully, we get one of those days where it's like 30 degrees again, and then I can. I took a 6-year vacation from social media. It can be very toxic and affects my mental health. Everybody needs a break from the time. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to take a day off. I don't even want to touch my computer. Just the whole day. Wake up whenever the hell I feel like it. Drink my tea. Go for a walk somewhere. Maybe go grab some chips and go eat them by the water or something, like fish and chips or something. I concluded my opening argument on Monday, December 28th, by telling the jury what I thought the defense's case would be, thereby lessening the psychological impact of the defense attorney's arguments. The defense will probably argue that there is no conspiracy. They will tell you that Helter Skelter motive is absurd, ridiculous, unbelievable. They will tell you that the interpretation of the Beatles songs by Manson was normal. They will tell you that Linda is insane with LSD, that she made up her story to be granted immunity, that Linda's testimony is as an accomplice has not been corroborated. Probably they will tell you the reason they never put on a defense is because the prosecution never proved their case. They will tell you that Charles Manson is not a killer. He wouldn't harm a flea. They will tell you that Charlie was not the leader of the family. He never ordered these murders. They will tell you that this has been a case of circumstantial evidence, as if there's something wrong with circumstantial evidence. Completely disregarding as if there's something wrong with the circumstantial evidence, completely disregarding the direct evidence by the way of Linda's testimony. Out of 18,000 pages of transcript, they will come up here and there with a slight discrepancy between the testimony of one witness and another witness, which of course has to be expected, but they will tell you this means that the people's witnesses are liars. I then asked the jury, as intelligent men and women, to consciously evaluate the evidence in this case, applying common sense and reason, and thereby reach a just and fair verdict. Under the law of this state and nation, these defendants are entitled to have their day in court. They got that. They're also entitled to have a fair trial by the impartial jury. They also got that. This is all that they are entitled to. Since they committed these 7 senseless murders, the people of the state of California are entitled to a guilty verdict. Toward the opening of the argument for Patricia Krenwinkel, Paul Fitzgerald said, "If we set out to reboot every witness the prosecution put on that stand, we would be here until 1974, unthinkingly emphasizing the length of the people's case as well as the defense's inability to answer it." Fitzgerald's argument was very disappointing. Not only were there many things he could have argued, but didn't. He repeatedly misstated the evidence. He said that Sebring was hanged, that all victims had been stabbed to death, and Tim Ireland heard parents scream. He referred to Sharon as Mary Polanski. Holy frig, what a dumbass. Really? He had the killers entering the Tate residence through a bedroom window. He confused how many times Frykowski had been stabbed and struck. He said Linda testified to 5 knives rather than 3. He had Linda driving on the second night when Manson was, and vice versa. He had a deputy who wasn't even present arresting Manson during the Spawn raid, and so on. The prosecution stressed murder, 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 Fitzgerald said. Actually, you have to decide whether it is murder. The first thing the jury should decide, he continued, is what crimes, if any, were committed. Now, a .22 caliber pistol, it strikes me, is a classically insufficient way to kill somebody. It obviously does not make sense to hang anybody. If you were a mastermind criminal, if you had absolute power over the minds and bodies of bootlicking slaves, as they were referred to, would you send women to do a man's job? Women, ladies, and gentlemen are life givers. They make love, they get pregnant, they deliver babies. They are life givers, not takers away. Women are adverse to violence. Only a small portion of Fitzgerald's argument was devoted to the evidence against his client, and rebuttal it was not. He said that there is no doubt, there is a doubt as to whether or not that the fingerprint found at the Tate residence belongs to Patricia Krenwinkel. Even presuming it did, he said, it is entirely conceivable, possible, and reasonable that Patricia Krenwinkel was at that house as an invited guest or a friend. Some friend. As for Krenwinkel's so-called confession to Diane Lake that she dragged Abigail Folger from the bedroom to the living room, that wasn't a confession at all, Fitzgerald said. She didn't say when this occurred or where. Maybe it took place in San Francisco in 1967. Fitzgerald did spend a great deal of time trying to destroy the credibility of Linda Kasabian. In my argument, I had remarked, Linda Kasabian was on that witness stand, ladies and gentlemen, for 18 days, an extraordinarily long period of time for any witness to testify in any case. I think you will agree with me that during those 18 days, Linda Kasabian and the truth were companions. Fitzgerald challenged this, but he was unable to cite a single discrepancy in her account. However, the greater portion of his argument dealt with this case against Charles Manson. All the testimony regarding Manson's philosophy proved, Fitzgerald said, was that he is some sort of right-wing hippie Manson. Female members of the Mansons definitely had Stockholm Syndrome. Charlie knew how to manipulate people of all time. Yeah, I agree. Fitzgerald ended his argument with a long and passionate plea, not for his client, Patricia Krenwinkel, but for Charles Manson. There was, he concluded, insufficient evidence against Manson. Not once did he say that there was insufficient evidence against Patricia Krenwinkel. Nor did he even ask the jury to come back with a not guilty verdict for his client. Wow. I think I'm going to end it there. My throat's killing me. Yeah, so I feel like I'm still not getting to the end. Hold on, where did I start reading? That's it? That's all I read? No way. In an hour, that's all I read. Okay, I'm gonna have to read more then. This is ridiculous. Something like that. Yeah, I only read that apparently. Well, no wonder. All right, I'm gonna keep going then. Dave Shin had prepared a chart listing all the witnesses who had testified against his client, Susan Atkins. He said he would reboot each. The first one on the list is Linda Kasabian, and I believe Mr. Fitzgerald had adequately covered Ms. Kasabian's testimony. He then skimmed over the criminal records of DiCarlo, Howard, Graham, and Walker. On Danny DiCarlo, how would you like to have him for your son-in-law? How would you like to have him meet your daughters? On Virginia Graham, how would you like to invite her to your house for Christmas? You would have to hide the silverware. Mr. Bugliosi is laughing. At least I did not put him to sleep. Shin's entire argument took only 38 pages of transcript. Irving Kanarek, who followed Shin, consumed 1,182. For the most part, Kanarek ignored my argument against Manson. Remaining on the offense rather than taking the defense, he pounded home two names, Tex and Linda. Who was it Linda Kasabian first slept with at Spawn Ranch, stole the $5,000 for, accompanied to the Tate residence? Charles Tex Watson. The most logical explanation for these murders was the simplest, Kanarek said. Love of a girl for a boy. As for his client, Kanarek portrayed him as a peaceful man, whose only sin, if he had one, was that he preached and practiced love. Now the people who brought these charges, they want to get Charles Manson for some ungodly reason, which I think is related to Manson's lifestyle. Though many of his statements seemed to me to be too ridiculous for comment, I took many notes during Kanarek's argument. For he also planted little doubts which, unless rebutted, could grow bigger into ones when the jury began deliberation. And the purpose was to start a black-white war. Why did it stop the second one night? Why wasn't there a third night and a fourth? Why didn't the prosecution bring in Nader and the policeman on the bench and the man whose life Linda claimed to have saved? Are we to believe that by means of a wallet found in a toilet tank, Mr. Manson intended to start a race war? If Tex pushed parents' car up the driveway, why weren't his prints found on it? Several times, Kanarek referred to the trial as a circus. A remark to which Judge Older reacted very strongly. He also reacted this time without my prompting to Kanarek's charge that the prosecution had suppressed evidence. There is no evidence in this case that anyone has suppressed anything, Older said. At the end of Kanarek's second day of argument, Judge Older told him that he was putting the jury to sleep. Now I'm going to tell you how to make an argument. Older said at the bench, but I would suggest to you that you may not be doing your client the utmost amount of good by prolonging it unduly. He went on for a third day and then a fourth. On the fifth day, the jury sent a note to the bailiff requesting no dose for themselves and sleeping pills for Mr. Kanarek. On the sixth day, Oler warned Kanarek, you're abusing your right to argue just as you have abused practically every other right you have in this case. There is a point, Mr. Kanarek, at which argument is no longer argument, but a filibuster. Yours is reaching that point. Kanarek went on another full day before bringing his argument to an end with the statement, Charles Manson is not guilty of any crime. You should see San Quentin Prison. It has billion-dollar views. It sits at the edge of the bay overlooking San Francisco. It's absolutely beautiful, and we paid for that. He lived his life there. Wow. Several times during Kanerick's argument, Manson had interrupted with remarks from the lockup. Once he shouted loud enough for the jury to hear, "Why don't you sit down? You're just making things worse." During one of the noon recesses, Manson asked to see me. I turned down several earlier requests with a comment that I'd like to talk to him when he took the stand, but this time I decided to see what he wanted. I was glad I did, as it was one of the most informative conversations we had. Manson telling me exactly how he felt about his 3 female co-defendants. Manson wanted to clear up a couple of wrong impressions. One was Fitzgerald's reference to him as a right-wing hippie. Though I personally thought the description had some validity, Manson felt otherwise. He never thought of himself as a hippie. He said hippies don't like the establishment, so they back off and form their own establishment. They're no better than the others. He also didn't want me to think that Sadie, Katie, and Leslie were the best he could do. "I've screwed girls that would make these 3 look like boys," he said. For some reason, it was important to Manson that I believe this, and he re-emphasized it, adding, "I'm a very selfish guy. I don't give a fuck for these girls. I'm only out for myself." "Have you ever told them that, Charlie?" I asked. "Sure, ask them." "Then why would they do what they're doing for you? Why would they be willing to follow you everywhere, even to the gas chamber at San Quentin?" "Because I tell them the truth," Manson replied. "Other guys bullshit them, and I say I love you and only you, and all that is baloney. I'm honest with them. I tell them I'm the most selfish guy in the world, and I am." Yet he was always saying that he would die for his brother, I reminded him. Wasn't that a contradiction? "No, because that's selfish too," he responded. "He's not going to die for me unless I'm willing to die for him." San Quentin is a great tour. I did some tours when doing my residency in Santa Monica. I did San Quentin, Folsom, Alcatraz, and if you, I'd love to pick your brain about that. That was amazing. I had a strong feeling that Manson was leveling with me. Sadie, Katie, and Leslie were willing to murder, even give their own lives, for Charlie. And Charlie, personally, couldn't have cared less about them. Though he wasn't even present when the witnesses testified, Maxwell Keith, arguing for Leslie Van Houten, delivered the best of the 4 defense arguments. He also did what no other defense attorneys had dared to do during the trial. He put the hat on Charles Manson, albeit with a 10-foot pole. The record discloses over and over again that all of these girls are the ranch believed Manson was God, really believed it. The record discloses that the girls obeyed his commands without any conscious questioning at all. If you believe the prosecution theory that these female defendants and Mr. Watson were extensions of Mr. Manson, his additional arms and legs as if it were, if you believe that they were mindless robots, they cannot be guilty of premeditated murder. To commit first-degree murder, Keith argued, you must have malice, forethought, you must think and plan. And these people did not have minds to make up. Each of the minds of these girls and Mr. Watson were totally controlled by someone else. As for Leslie herself, Keith argued that even if she did all the things the prosecution contended, she still had committed no crime. At best, if you want to believe Diane Lake, the evidence shows that she was there. At best, it shows that she did something after the commission of these homicides that wasn't very nice. And at best, it showed that she wiped some fingerprints off after the commission of these homicides does not make her an aider and abettor. As repugnant as you may feel this is, nobody in the world can be guilty of murder, of conspiracy to commit murder. Who stabs somebody after they're already dead? I'm sure that desecrating somebody that is dead is a crime in the state, but she is not charged with that. This case, Keith concluded, must be decided on the basis of the evidence, and on the basis of the evidence, ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, you must acquit Leslie Van Houten. Hopefully I can get through this. Yeah, I'm going to read all those too. Screw it. I want to get done with this book as much as quick as I can, I guess to say. He came back when KJ got sued. San Quentin is beautiful if you weren't a prisoner. It was a rough place. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I had no idea who she was until she showed up my vehicle and Todd see a stalker. Oh, jeez. It is. I pledged the criminal justice front in college since it was my major. I visited many prisons in California, San Quentin being one of them. Did you get to visit the death chamber? It freaked me out. Oh, I bet. I don't know. I would imagine it would be almost dark, gloomy, cold, and you'd just feel so many emotions in there, you know. I think I'd almost cry, shudder and cry. Just, I don't know. I began my final summation and closing argument on January 13th. In my opinion, final summation is very often the most important part of the trial since it's the final word to the jury. Again, several hundred hours had gone into the preparation. I began by meeting head on each of the defense contentions. In this way, I hope to dispose of any questions or lingering doubts that otherwise might distract the jury during the last phase of my argument, during which I summarize, as firmly as I can, the highlights and strengths of my case. Taking on each of the defense attorneys in turn, I cited 24 misstatements of either the law or the testimony in Fitzgerald's presentation. As for a suggestion that if Manson ordered these murders, he would have sent men rather than women, I asked, is Mr. Fitzgerald suggesting that Katie, Sadie, and Leslie were inadequate to do the job? Isn't Mr. Fitzgerald satisfied with their handiwork? Fitzgerald had also contended that perhaps Linda planted the bloody clothing a few days before it was found. I reminded the jury that Linda was returned to California on December 2nd in custody and that the clothing was found on December 15th. Apparently, Mr. Fitzgerald wants you to believe that one night between these dates, Linda snuck out of her room at Civil Brand, rounded up some clothing, put some blood on them, hitchhiked out to Benedict Canyon, rode through the clothing over the side of the hill, then hitchhiked back to the jail and snuck back into her room. Fitzgerald had likened the circumstantial evidence in this case to a chain, saying that if one link were missing, the chain was broken. I instead likened it to a rope, each strand of which is a fact. As we add strands, we add the rope, blah, 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 blah. I hate court talk. Death chambers are odd, as we do not have the death penalty in Canada, so I got the heebie-jeebies from it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would too, because, yeah, we don't have it. Trained to be a doc, I knew with my oaths and ethics I would never have death penalty. Yeah, I could never. The offer to sit in the chair, and it still had the IV bag from the last death, and I declined sitting in the chair, but another frat member did. Oh, hell no. I could not do that. Kainer could ask why the prosecution didn't have the defendants try on the 7 articles of clothing to see if they fit. I reversed this, asking why, if they didn't fit, the defense didn't illustrate this to a jury. As for the absence of Watson's prints on Parent's vehicle, I reminded them of Dolan's testimony that 70% of the times LAPD goes to a crime scene, no readable prints are found. I also noted that in moving his hand, it was very likely Watson had created an unreadable smudge. This book just goes on and on and on. I feel like I'm never going to get to the end. When I lacked the answer to a question, I frankly admitted it. But usually, I offered at least one and often several possibilities. Whom do the glasses belong to? Frankly, we didn't know, but we did know from Sadie's statement to Roseanne Walker that they did not belong to the killers. Why was there no blood on the buck knife found in the chair? Kainarek had raised this point. It was a good one. We had no answer. We could speculate, however, that Sadie had lost the knife before she stabbed Wojciech and Sharon, possibly while she was in the process of tying up Wojciech, and that at some later point she borrowed another knife from Katie or Tex. Much important than what knife she used was the fact that she confessed stabbing both of the victims to Virginia Graham and Ronnie Howard. The whole thrust of Irving Kainerek's 7-day argument, I told the jury, was that the prosecution had framed its case against the client, Charles Manson. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, I observed there are 7 brutal murders, so the police and the district attorney got together and said, let's prosecute some hippies for these murders, someone whose lifestyle we don't like. Just about any hippie will do, and we'll just arbitrarily picked on poor Charles Manson. Charles Manson is not a defendant in this trial because he is some long-haired vagabond who made love to young girls and was a virulent dissenter. He's on trial because he is a vicious, diabolical murderer who gave the order that caused 7 human beings to end up in the cold earth. That is why he's on trial. I also hit and heard Kainerek's claim that the prosecution was responsible for the excessive length of the trial. The jury had missed both Christmas and New Year's at home, and I didn't want them entering the jury chambers resenting that prosecution for this. Irving Kainerek, the Tuscany of Tedium, is accusing the prosecution of trying up this court for over 6 months. You folks are the best witnesses. Every single solitary witness that the prosecution called to the witness stand was asked brief questions, directly to the point. The witnesses were on that stand day after day after day after day on cross-examination, not on direct examination. As for Maxwell Keith, he did everything possible for his client. Leslie Van Houten, I observed, he gave his best. Unfortunately for Mr. Keith, he had no facts and no law to support him. Mr. Keith, if you look at his argument very closely, never really disputed that Linda Kasabian and Diane Lake told the truth. Basically, his position was that even if Leslie did the things Linda and Diane said she did, she is still not guilty on anything. I wonder if Max would concede that she is at least guilty of trespassing. Keith says, I will. Max's response surprised me. He was in effect admitting that Leslie had been in the LaBianca residence. Even if Rosemary LaBianca was dead while Leslie stabbed her, I told the jury she was guilty of first-degree murder as both a co-conspirator and an aider and abetter. If a person is present at the scene of a true crime, offering moral support, that constitutes aiding and abetting, but Leslie went far beyond this, stabbing, wiping prints, and so forth. Hey, Wicked Tea. Also, we had only Leslie's word for it that Rosemary was dead when she stabbed her. Only 13 of Rosemary's 41 stab wounds were post-mortem. What about the other 28? Yes, Tex, Sadie, Katie, and Leslie were robots, zombies, automatons. No question about it, but only in the sense that they were totally subservient and and servile to Charles Manson. Only in that sense. This does not mean that they did not want to do what Charles Manson told them to do and weren't very willing participants in these murders. To the contrary, all the evidence goes the other way. There's no evidence that any of the defendants subjected Charles Manson about the 2 horrendous nights of murder. Only Linda Kasabian, Dan and Bennett said, "Charlotte, I am not you. I can't kill." The others not only didn't complain, I noted they laughed when the Tate murders were described on TV. Leslie told Diane that stabbing was fun, that the more she stabbed, the more she enjoyed it, while Sadie told Virginia and Ronnie that it was better than a sexual climax. Holy, these guys are disgusting. The fact that these 3 female defendants obeyed Charles Manson, did whatever he told them to do, did not immunize them from a conviction on first-degree murder. It offers no insulation to protection whatsoever. If it did, then hired killers or triggermen for the mafia would have a built-in defense for murder. All they would have to say is, well, I did what my boss told me to do. Mr. Keith also suggests that Watson and 3 girls had some type of mental disability which prevented them from deliberating and premeditating, even prevented them from having malice afterthought. The problem with this, I told the jury, was that defense never introduced any evidence of insanity or diminished capacity. On the contrary, I reminded the jury Fitzgerald described the girls as bright, intuitive, perspective, and very well educated. While the evidence itself showed, these defendants were thinking very, very clearly on these 2 nights of murder. Cutting telephone wires, instructing Linda to listen for sounds, hosing blood off their bodies, disposing of their clothing and weapons, wiping prints, their conduct clearly and unequivocally shows that on both nights they knew exactly what they were doing, that they intended to kill, they did kill, and they did everything possible to avoid detection. They were not suffering, ladies and gentlemen, from any diminished mental capacity. They were suffering from a diminished heart, a diminished soul. That's it. I am done reading this. My throat's killing me. It still looks like there's so much. It's ridiculous. Why is it taking... It feels like it's taking me so long to get the end. Like I just flew through it, it seemed, and now it's like, huh. Anyways, let's stop complaining. It's just... Some of it's all right. Some of it's like, man. We should look. Do you guys want to look at a video of the San Quentin prison? I can look on YouTube and see if there is one. No, I haven't, Bryson. It's hard wondering it's hard wondering what with legal suicide becoming normalized. I understand it, but I do not think I could help a patient do it. I don't think I could either. You want to? I don't know. I've never seen the inside of San Quentin in real time. I have watched a lot of documentaries and shows though. I can't believe I just drank that whole thing of Pepsi. Holy shit. I'm going to be up all night. Life in San Quentin State Prison. Here, hold on. I gotta share this with you guys. You guys can help me pick. There's travel guides. Life in San Quentin State Prison documentary called The Arena, and it's by prisoners. This was done 7 months ago. This one is 50 minutes long, 46 minutes. San Quentin Cell Tower. Saltour, sorry, my bad. Inside San Quentin's Death Row. Want to watch that one? There's another one over here. I don't know. 750 inmates on death row. That's insane. Just got tired of listening. Yeah, this one isn't very long, so I can show a couple of them. All right, let's mute myself.
My name is Robert Lee Smith Jr. I've been here since 1993. Go ahead, man.
My name is Jarvis Masters. I've been in San Quentin for 35, and I came here when I was 19 years old.
You guys go sleep? Sure, we got everybody.
I've admitted to my crimes. I confessed. I pled guilty, and I said from the outset that I deserve capital punishment.
My name is Charles Smith, 46 years old. I've been convicted of 4 gang murders, and I was sentenced to death. Step back with yourself, please.
I've been here 33 years at San Quentin, 35 years since back in 1980.
I was an evil person. No way to put it, I didn't care for other people's lives. I was an adult, and I chose to do what I did.
You damage a lot of people when you crime like I did robberies. And how do you take that back? You don't. You just acknowledge that you did something that hurted someone, and it hurt. And it tears you up too, because you know that you're 10 years old. Try not to feel it, then that's where you really take a lot of pain and suffering.
There is such a thing as evil, and some people are evil.
You think you're no longer evil?
Yes, I'm no longer evil.
And what changed? What flipped?
Well, acceptance of Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Play some hoops and do a lot of praying, reading, studying the Bible, trying to be a blessing in people's lives.
It is hard not to take. Just draw. I do stuff like this. Try to keep my mind.
Try to make friends in here understand this is no matter if they innocent or they believe they're innocent or not.
I've made some friends here, but most of them are dead now. A couple got executed, mostly health issues, a couple suicides.
I don't think it should be a death penalty. But if you think about it, like, you killing someone because it's a crime, a crime that they may have committed, what make you different from the person that's a murderer on the streets? If you're gonna execute a person, what make you different? In God's eyes, you ain't.
There are a lot of people on death row who committed very serious crimes, negative murder. But as far as who actually gets a death penalty, I think that seems arbitrary to me.
I don't think I'll die here, not because of just hope. I just honestly believe in my spirit that I won't die for something that I didn't commit.
Well, they take me downstairs, execute me. I would assume it's God's will, and I expect to go to heaven after I die.
I can't live one way thinking I'm going to always get out. And I can't live the other way thinking I'm always going to stay in. Somehow I have to find resolution with both.
All I can say is if you sitting in here and you like basically being waiting to be executed, yeah, that's a threat. At any time, once your appellate, all your appellate rights is up, they can come get you and execute you. That's a threat. It's always on your mind. It's always in the back of your head, right?
That was kind of boring. I know. I should look up. Maybe we should look up Charles Manson in San Quentin and see if we can like see his cell or something, or if something's on YouTube. All right, see here. No slack in my act. I am love. Watson didn't say that. No murder in Holly War Rose. What the frig? How long is this? 35 minutes. My God, everything's in here. Inside the ruthless lifestyle of San Quentin Prison. I wonder if Charles Manson's ghost's been seen in there. I'm gonna put ghost. I don't know, make it better. Or ghost yet? Oh, wait. What is this? Investigating a real haunted house of horrors. Charles Manson, Omen House. Ooh. Charles Manson Spirit Session. What will his soul say? What? You guys know that actor Danny Trejo recalls bizarre incident with Charles Manson in jail. Sharon Tate ghost recap. Okay, visiting the graves of Charles Manson and the LaBianca murders. Do you guys want to watch that? I'm just thinking of one more quick thing before we go. Yeah, that's the prison for the people that are on death row. Yeah. They have a display of all the art they have taken from his cell. The scorpion made of underwear thread. What did you wake up to? I don't know. I'm just kind of messing around on YouTube. Just trying to find some videos to watch. Do you want to do the there's one here. It says Helter Skelter, Charles Manson and the LaBianca murders visiting the graves. This one isn't very long. It's only 14 minutes. Check that out. And if it looks kind of stupid or boring, we can just get out of it and try another one. I want to find, actually, what I really want to find is the EVP session that was done on the land where Sharon Tate had her home, where she was murdered, because there is one done and you can actually hear her voice. It was crazy. It was really sad. It sounds just like her. I watched it and I can't seem to find it. All right, we'll check it out and see.
Just downloaded a game that says real pull the pin game. There's no way that can be real. I've tried it too many times, and I've never been.
Guys, oops, I'm so muted. I didn't realize it was by the Grim Life Collective. So this is a husband and wife, and they go around to all these graveyards, and they'll show you all these different famous graves and stuff of like serial killers and whatnot. They're pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know it was them. Yeah, if you know, you guys know I think I'm an atheist anyways. I don't know, I'm questioning my beliefs, but I just tell Jill because I don't pray or anything. I'll cross my eyes and toes and fingers and hands, whatever I can, for her baby and for herself. Yeah, she is going through a lot. Yeah, we've been speaking every day. I've been checking up on her. I feel like an asshole because I missed her phone call today due to other bullshit. I was just like, ugh. Now, if I could chug a beer like that, I would be smashed. Wow. That's a lot of Pepsi. I think I'm good.
Frank Reynolds is on vacation. Howard K. Smith is down with a summer cold. Frank Reynolds is on vacation. Frank Reynolds is on vacation. Howard K. Smith is down with a summer cold. These are tonight's headlines. Police release their only suspect in the mass murder of film star Sharon Tate and 4 others. Los Angeles has had another murder. Last night, a middle-aged couple was stabbed to death in a case that has striking similarities to the mass murder Saturday of actress Sharon Tate and 4 friends. Details now from ABC's Dick Shoemaker in Los Angeles.
Late last night, another bizarre murder in Los Angeles, the second in 2 days. The owner of a small supermarket chain found in his home his head covered by a white hood, a meat fork stuck in his chest. His wife, 38-year-old Mrs. Lino LaBianca, found in the bedroom dead, her back brutally cut by a whip. On the refrigerator door in the home, smeared in blood, were the words, "Death to pigs." This latest killing closely resembles the mass homicide this weekend of actress Sharon Tate and 4 others.
With absolutely no way of possibly knowing what was going to happen, August 9th, 1969, the LaBiancas returned to this address, 3311 Waverly Drive, after vacationing late at night, less than 24 hours after the murders over on Cielo Drive.
The very next morning, August 10th, 1969, inside this house, Lino and Rosemary LaBianca were found dead.
Keep in mind, it's been over 50 years since the LaBiancas were murdered here, and a lot has changed, especially here, standing in front of the gate looking up at the house. If you do any kind of research online, you're going to see a photo that was taken the morning of August 10th, 1969, where there's a police officer standing right about here. Now, I point this out because this driveway that's right there, that's the original driveway. At some point, this driveway was added, and you can see this, the change in the pavement right there. It's crazy to see. Also, you see that giant bush that's in the center of your screen just behind the gate? All of that was added. And now, in 2021, you cannot see or get a clear shot of the house. The driveway has been added. If you look at the very, very top of the driveway, you see that. You can go to the roof. I'm not sure what you call that design. But you can still see that in the photos from August 10th, 1969. And now for a little bit of grim history about what happened here. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details because basically what you already know of this house and the murders in Charles Manson, it pretty much speaks for itself. But basically, the event is this. The night after the murders on Cielo Drive, Charles Manson was not happy with how they did it. So he gathered up the murderers and they went so he can show them how it's done. They drove around, looked at a couple of different places, and then he remembered of a house that was next to a party that he attended, Charles Manson attended, the year previously. So they went in that house, in this residence, 33 Waverly Drive, the LaBianca residence. So If we said literally about being at a party the year before at a house that was right next door to the LaBianca house, it leaves 3 options. First one being right there directly across the street. About the center of your screen, you're going to see a wall at the end of that road. I highly doubt it's the building that's behind that wall because it appears to be a monastery of some sort. So, by process of elimination, I'm ahead to say that that house, the house, is this one here. If I move around a little bit and get a better view of it. So much of the house and property has changed.
What's on the rules for breakfast today? What's on the words of food that you
Well, that's pretty cool. I guess we get to see that, like, the new house that's built there. And this is in 2021 when they did the footage. Have you guys ever seen this channel? It's called the Grim Collective. It's a wife and husband team. I like them. She's one of my ride or dies that I met here on YouTube, and I'm thankful for. Oh, you make me blush, Joe. Yeah, you do. I'm glad your family came up today, right? How's your Instagram? Yeah, you do have a great support system.
Property has changed over the past 50 years. But I was really hoping that the pillars on both sides of the driveway were original. But upon closer inspection, I don't think that they are. At one point, if you look in the photos on the very top of them, on these ones here, they're flat, but in the photos, they look like they're dome. And there was a sign over on this one here, which would have said 3311. That's no longer here. There's not even a marking for it, like, some sort of drill marks or something to hang the sign. In Tex Watson's autobiography, he wrote that Charles Manson walked up this driveway alone to scope out the area. And then he came back and he got Tex, and they both walked up to the house and peered through the window to find a man sleeping. And then they snuck in, well, basically walked in through an unlocked door. A different account of the story is from Atkins, who says that Manson walked up to the house alone, kind of like what Tex said, but whenever he came back, that he told the followers that he tied up the occupants in the house, that they could go up. Regardless of what may or may not have happened, they took the LaBiancas into the living room, put pillowcases on their heads, tied them up with lamp cords, supposedly. Now remember, Manson was never directly involved with any of the killing, they say. Supposedly, Manson left the house and ordered them to do this. And they did.
The latest murders were discovered during the night. The bodies of a man and his wife found in their home. Lino LaBianca, a supermarket owner, and his wife had both been stabbed to death, repeated stab wounds. On his body, the word war had been carved in the chest. Then, with blood, the killer had scrawled on the refrigerator door the words, "Death to pigs." Hoods had been placed over the heads of both victims.
When Tex is done with Lino LaBianca, he washes the bayonet off in the sink and then takes a shower in this house to clean up. As he does that, the girls of the family, they proceed to paint the walls with the blood of the LaBiancas with sayings like Helter Skelter and Death to Pigs. It's crazy.
With daylight, police searched the premises. They found no evidence of robbery, no suggestion of motive. A baffling crime and bizarre. The bizarre circumstances of those 2 murders last night were strikingly similar to the 5 murders at a home in Bel Air a few miles away 2 days before. This was at the home of movie director Roman Polanski, and it was his wife, Sharon Tate, who was one of the victims. She, too, had been stabbed, repeated stab wounds. One of the victims had a hood placed over his head, and the word pig was written in blood on the door. Now, today, police were searching here, too. Mr. Polanski had returned to Los Angeles from London and was in seclusion with friends. And police today...
Sorry, there's a trigger warning. I didn't realize there's going to be blood. Of course, I paused it, don't I? I did, but I didn't mean to do it on that.
They could but speculate whether these two crimes this weekend, so grotesquely similar, had been done by the same person, or perhaps news reports of the first crime had inspired somebody else to do the second.
From what I read online, the current owner of the LaBianca house is Zach Baggins from the TV show Ghosters. But obviously the house is for sale. Not sure what the asking price is. I'm sure you can Google it and find out what it is. But why on earth would he be selling it? This seems like a perfect house for him that he would, want to buy and add to his collection on quote unquote macabre and haunted places. Supposedly, Zach Baggins bought this house with the intention probably to live in it, but to also turn it into a museum of sorts. I'm not sure if it was going to be another haunted museum similar to what he has in Las Vegas, or a museum dedicated to what happened with the Manson family. But the locals, the people who live here in this neighborhood, were not having it. And supposedly he applied for all kinds of different permits to do certain things, and he kept getting turned down. So that is out the door, and the place is for sale again. If I had the money, I'd buy it. I don't know how much it costs, but I'd buy it if I had the money. And with that, one more look at the property before we head on. I only wish.
I have a question. Does anybody know if anybody else has bought in this place? After these folks, anybody know? I'm just curious because I know of a few owners. I didn't realize it was for sale again. That was loud in here. What? Who the hell was that? He got a lot of the stuff from the Warrens as well. He's too fake. He will ruin it. Who? Who, Bryson? Do you mean like this channel here? I'm actually subscribed to that channel, the Warren channel. Oh, yeah, I don't like him at all. Not at all. This guy, I can't remember his name, but it's a husband and wife team. They're pretty cool. I like their song at the beginning. I don't know, it always reminds me of like Halloween, and I don't know. I like them. I'll have to show you what it's called, the Grim Life Collective. Yeah, I don't care for Zach Baggins. I think he's full of shit. He's been known to fake things. Yeah. I used to watch a show, but it got too fake. Exactly. I was told that by a lot of people. I've seen a lot of it, and I'm just like, yeah, and a lot of his people apparently had walked away because he was faking shit. No, I want the truth, not the fakery.
Wish that giant bush blocking our view of the house wasn't there. It would have been nice to see it. But I get it. Everybody wants some privacy, especially with what happened here. Right now, we're in Calvary Cemetery, searching for the graves of the LaBiancas. I love how peaceful cemeteries are. So his final resting place is this crypt right here. And to be honest, I thought his wife Rosemary would have been interred here as well, possibly this one with the plaque missing, but she's not. Upon research, findagrave.com, it turns out that Rosemary, she was cremated and her ashes are unknown. So possibly the family has them, but nobody really knows. I can't find any information on it. But at least we were able to visit him. Walking around this place trying to find them, we've noticed something we've never seen before. There's a second floor to this going down below. I don't know, but we'll have to find out. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's lovely.
We heard voices.
It freaked me out.
It freaked you out?
Well, I heard, it looks like a crypt, and I heard voices coming. I was like, oh no, did somebody fall in something? But no.
And because this is our first time in Calvary Cemetery in East Los Angeles, first glance, it's pretty beautiful. So let's explore. this point on, going inside this building, this mausoleum, we're going to be at whisper level because there's other people in there, and out of respect for the mourners as well as the dead, whispers. At this At this point, some of you can probably imagine, but Jessica is the best person to go on these spooky.
I just have to say, these two are so cute together. I really enjoy their channel. Yeah, apparently, Melanie Teresa, she walked you on accident. She fell asleep. I think you, oh, there you go. She's not blocked. You did it. Oh my God, that's funny. She's like, I think I blocked her. I can just picture you sitting there, all of a sudden you fell asleep and you like sit on your, or you like put your head on your phone or something. It's like, oh shit. Your YouTube's acting crazy. No worries. You fixed it. You're good.
Grim adventures with. I love you, baby ghoul. There's nobody down here but us. Well, there's a bunch of people down here, I should say. Yeah, well, what do you call that? The thing that you can kneel down on and say prayers to? You know, prayers to people.
I don't know what it's called, at least not a mobile one, but so echoey.
So echoey. Let me get in here.
I'm assuming it's made for visiting people on the lower pass here because they go all the way up really high. And, you know, everyone who comes to visit a loved one isn't exactly young and spriteful. So it's difficult getting back up when you come to visit somebody and you want to place flowers and do a prayer with them. So I like that this thing simply exists.
With that being said, thank you for joining us on another adventure. Until next time.
So they're like ghoulies all year round. I'm so sorry. My phone, oh, that's what it did. It dropped again. Oh my God. She's done it before. Not block somebody, but she's talked people or something like that. She's done it before. I just laugh because I know you don't mean to. I'm tired all of a sudden. That is beautiful. I love stained glass. No worries, it made me laugh. I'm guilty of dozing off and sending messages I don't write. Okay, my cats are horrible for that. Like, I'll have my phone open and I'll be writing something and I don't turn my phone off right away. And especially Dilly, she's always on top of me and just, she thinks she owns me. So she just walks all over the damn place between her and Claire. Actually, you know what? All four of my pets do. All three cats and my dog. They own me. So they just do whatever the hell they want. Walking on me, walking on this. Even their paws. They can touch my phone because it's a touch phone, right? They touch it and they'll have all these words and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? I was trying to fix it. I couldn't figure it out because I was still half asleep. As you can tell from my typos. I always make her fall asleep. collect stained glass and blown glass as well. I fell asleep mid-message. There you go. We're all guilty of it. I've done it before. Or actually, one of the main things I do, it's so stupid. I don't even know how I do it. I'll be in the middle of a message, say here on StreamYard, and I'll be typing in here, and I'll be typing what I'm reading on something else, which I shouldn't be anyway. So it's just, I don't even know how I do that, but I will. And then before I send it, thank God, I'll see I've written like, oh, Melly, that's so San Quentin Charles Manson. And it's like, wait, what? What am I doing? Because I did do that earlier. I just didn't put it through. My husband is giving me a look. I'm over here laughing my ass off. I needed that. Yeah, you were saying that earlier too. We had a members only stream earlier, Teresa, and we were laughing our asses off. I wanted some, I don't know, I wanted to feel better. I wanted to laugh. So we did. We were laughing at cats and we were laughing at this the BBC channel of those of the animals in like United Kingdom. Oh my god. If they're making animals talk, and it was hilarious because the little like the mama shark and the baby sharks, they're like, okay, the father shark, I'll say. They're like, okay, so here he's getting the choir together. He's like, this is what we have to do. Da-da. Da-da. And all the fish start going da-da, 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 da-da. And then he goes ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo. Stupid beaver, he's looking for his friend, and he's like, I'm looking for Alan. All of a sudden he's like, Alan, 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 Alan. He's not answering me. Oh, it's Steve. Maybe it's Steve. Steve. Oh god, it was funny. I needed that. I needed it. I'm sorry you missed it today, Joe, but it's members only, so you can see it. You're a member. Poor Teresa can't. But I have to start doing stuff for members. I always forget. So I'm glad I did today. I'll be doing more of those often. And you guys, like, if you have if you want anything, suggest it. I know it makes me feel bad because you're my BFF. I'm just like, it sounds like fun. I wish you could afford to be a member. I'll have to show you. I know what I'll do. I'll call you and we'll watch it on my computer. I would love to see that one video again. You'll have to watch it later, Jill. It's funny. I'll try and do it like members only once a week. But you guys are my members. You have to tell me what you want, and I have to follow suit. You paid me, not vice versa, right? And I said earlier, though, on the members live, I'm not fucking tripping. I can't remember who it was. They're like, oh, you read my mind. I'm like, shit. Ooh, let's do it on members only. Ooh, and then we'll do one for normal. Because we can go like all day and all night with that stuff, Jill, but we should. Hey, if you feel comfortable, you should. Oh yeah, you've been on panel once before. I remember seeing you up there. I was like, oh yeah, there she is. That would be awesome. We should do it together, Jill. We'll do one for members only, and then we'll do one for we'll do a different one. We'll say for the Canada stories and stuff. We'll do that for normal, for my normal YouTube, and then members only. We'll do that stuff. That would be awesome. Yeah, because that's like my go-to. That is what fascinates me. Anything paranormal and true crime, that is like my everything. If you guys could see my library, you'd be like, holy shit. That's all it is ghosts, aliens, and true crime. All right, cool beans. That way, Tracy, you can get. I think she's out again. We can watch. Oh, you're awake. Her sleep. Okay, her sleep schedule sucks. She's lucky if she's able to get 2 hours a night. Yeah. After Tuesday, I'll be able to know how much help I can be to this. But I like those books, so I sent you. Yeah, I do have some of those books too, and I've already read not all. Or wait, yeah, I think I did read pretty much all of them on my channel before. So I've got them from last year. I've already read them because that's how I started my channel, was that stuff, and with Gabby Petito and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure I have the books that you stated. Hold on. I've got these two. I've got Haunted Canada 2 and 3. These ones are good. Really good. The Lure of the Falls, Close Encounter in a Cottage Country, and the Wendigo Tragedy. Oh yeah, these are awesome. The Schooner Captain Spectre, School Spirit. The Lady Vanishes and Murder Most Foul. That was Saskatchewan. Regina, Saskatchewan. This happened in 1925. Victoria Avenue. Cool. The Living Dead. Too Close for Comfort. What's this one? Alarming Fires in Nova Scotia. Wow. Lady in Red, Toronto, Ontario. Yeah, these sound good. All right. Sweet. But we can start off with these Haunted Canada ones. They're pretty small books, but they got some really good stories in them. And they're, they're from people all over the world in Canada. Not all over the world, but all over in Canada, I should say. Right where my grandma lived, and now my brother in Regina. Yeah, so there's some stories in here. I think it's one of the ones that you told me about. Vancouver, British Columbia. There's Medicine Hat, Alberta. More British Columbia. Toronto. Bad Hills, Saskatchewan. Fort Erie, Nova Scotia. Arctic Ocean, Lake Superior. Kingsport, Ontario. I don't even know where that is. Regina, Saskatchewan. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Thank you for not covering Kylie Rodney, those creep. Yeah, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Just for the fact that I find people are... Listen, there's a police force for a reason. Instead of trying to be internet, a YouTube sleuther or whatever you want to call it, you think you're a police detective when you're not, and go around making all these accusations and everything else. You need to let the family grieve. We don't know what happened to her exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit here and speculate. And I am not going to try and get monetized on my videos for something like that. I just won't do it. St. Michael, he's reading Fort Capel. Okay. What do you think of the Sherry Papini? I'm spelling it wrong. She faked. Yes. See, I remember that. It was all over Dr. Phil and everything. And I remember reading the news about that. She faked. Yeah, that was disgusting. Really disgusting. Winnipeg has some very old buildings with spirits in them. Yeah. I'd love to go there. I want to go to the graveyard that's behind my house and just even turn on my recording and just walk, just to hear them. You know what I mean? Because I can't. Sometimes I can't. With my recorder, I can. Just not even say anything. You want to focus on profits. I was thinking more book by book. Like, I'll do this, just read these books anyways. They're short stories and they're all true. Then we can get into the, I don't know. We'll figure it out. They were horrible on Popcorn Planet today. I couldn't take it. It was so bad. Really? That's like, I'm sick to death of seeing Summer Wells' name being brought up. I made a video on her and her aunt, and they're both missing. That's it. I'm not going to keep going day in and day out and keep... I just don't like what's being done. I really don't. There's nothing new happening on that case. They just need, I don't even know. I have my, I've speculated on what I thought happened to Summer and even her aunt. But it's not proof. And unfortunately, I'm not the police. But I did do 2 videos on it if you guys care to check them out. Yeah, people need to learn when to leave things be. It's like beating a dead horse. Yeah, exactly. Leave Kylie alone out of this. Oh, like every time I turn around, somebody's live about her. Why? Because someone snickered in a corner? Oh, I don't know. Now they're saying that her best friend is banging her boyfriend. And they're saying it just like that. It's fucking gross. Just leave it. Like, same with Summer Wells. Shut up about it already. Enough. One day we might find answers. One day we might not. But the parents of that child are triggering as shit. And they're being offered to go on all these panels. Like when Molly did it, I'm like, holy frig, man, enough already. Going down there and starting fights. And it was just like, wow, it's too much. She's finally not talking about it anymore. At least I don't think. Like, I think she really cared and she was honestly trying to help. But it was just like over and over, and there was no new updates. There's no way of anybody helping. It was too much. It's fine, I don't want to just say like let it be, but I don't know what else to do at this point. We're not the police. Unless there's any new evidence, which there isn't, what the hell are we gonna do? Anything current, I wouldn't monetize it, especially when a crime isn't proven. Yeah, people are saying it's a crime and this and that and this and that. Well, she didn't have a seatbelt on. Well, what if she had a seatbelt on and she went through the window and this and that? It's like, it's not our place to, okay, fine. I get it if it just came out. People are speculating like, oh my God, is it this? Is it that? But all these channels are constantly doing this every fucking day. And it's gross. They need to leave things alone. Like I put my foot in my mouth when it comes to KJ. Thing is with her, I know she's dangerous. I know she's a monster. We all know this. And she does have to be stopped because somebody is going to get hurt. I'm talking unaliving themselves, losing jobs, just even getting harassed and stalked and doxxed and all this other shit's happening around KJ. That's why I cover her, because it's dangerous and I can do something about it. I can warn people and people will listen. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine the torture her parents have suffered. People need to, and they're not letting them grieve. These are teenagers and they're ruining people's lives. Let the professionals do the job. Yes, exactly that. What Bryson just said. Can you imagine the parents? I still haven't watched Justice for All video with that thumbnail that he had that everybody was bitching on about. I still haven't watched it, so I can't even give you my point of view because I don't want to. I don't want to see it. The thing with McRae needs to stop already, and it's not just KJ. It's I am so sick of hearing about it. I really am. And the reason why I'm sick of hearing about it is because of all the hurt, all the pain. Like there's a lot of people suffering from this. There's the horse shit side, then there's the bullshit side. It's got to stop. Yeah, I think so too, Melanie. It just got out of hand. It really did. Don't watch it. You can see her. Okay, I don't want that. Nope. That's what I figured, Melanie, because people were saying, you can see her. I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I don't plan to. I don't know. If I want to know anything about Carly, I'm gonna, Google it or watch a news channel that's actually legit. There's a legal aspect now with GA police involved. That's what people are saying, Jill, and I have heard that, but there's no proof of it. Nobody's showing any proof. So again, is Letitia being investigated? I don't know. I cannot say yes and I cannot say no. I have no proof of that whatsoever. Same with the 14 restraining orders that are on KJ. That's hard. KJ is a lot of things, but 14 restraining orders is a lot of restraining orders to have on someone. You know what I'm saying? I've got one that I know of that I have that's been sent to me. The person sent it to me and it looks legit, but again, I'm not a lawyer. So I just find it hard to believe if there's actually 14 restraining orders. The judge in her town, Minnesota, where she lives, which is small, they would be aware of this. I'm pretty sure something will be done. If not, then that judge needs to be held in like contempt of court or something. That's different. You're making people aware of someone who is dangerous because she gives advice. It's like the other one that gives advice that influence others. You were doing. All right, thanks. That's what I'm hoping to do anyways. Not just sit there and bash her. Like right now, I'm telling you, I don't believe that there's 14 restraining orders. I just don't. How could a judge allow that? Because she has to be served in Minnesota. That means there'd be a judge involved, and this judge would know about all 14. Now, there is one, I want to say for sure, I don't know. It looks legit to me. I've talked to a few people. They said yes, they've confirmed it. So this one apparently is legit. I have the evidence. I'm not a cop. I'm not a lawyer. What I see looks legit. I don't know. That's all I'm saying, I guess. It has CRN hashtag and a web crimes team is investigating. What has a CRN hashtag? Oh. I don't know, Jill, if you find anything that is like any type of proof or anything, then I could know. Yeah, it is sad. Unless they are TROs, which expire off the record after 2 weeks. Between the Duggars and the Chrisleys, it's possible they're 14. That's insane, though. Do you not think? Even for her? Yeah, I did watch it, Joby. And then they're saying, then Charlotte went live and said that she can't confirm that that's even true. I don't know. I'm not saying yes or no. I don't know. That's my honest opinion. I don't know. I do not believe KJ has 14 restraining orders unless I hear from a cop or a judge saying, yeah, in fact, she does. I just think that's a little much for one judge to know about and not do anything about it. Then he needs to be charged with that because people's lives are in danger here. You know what I'm saying? 14 just seems like a lot to me. I know you can get a TRO. Yeah, those are easy to get. You just make up some shit and you get one. Thing is, though, it's temporary for a reason, right? To get an actual restraining order, you're going to need some proof. So that's why I'm also saying if she's got an actual 14 restraining orders, that's really fucking bad and something's really wrong. Really wrong. Now, having one restraining order for sure, sure. Having all these TROs, that's pretty scary too. But I'm being told it's 14 restraining orders. That's why I'm having a hard time here. I just can't see a judge in one county saying that this is okay. If this person has got 14, there's something wrong here. I said, oh, fuck's sake, I kicked my top of my friggin' leg on the table. It hurt. She could have that money, but until we see it, we do not know. They could be in different jurisdictions too, so they wouldn't be in one country. The one reason why I'm saying I don't know. I'm not a legal expert or anything. So that's why it's a good point too, Bryson. See, that's what I would think, but she can't be served or anything like that unless it's in Minnesota. So that judge would know. Even if there's a couple judges in that area, I'm assuming they would all know with 14 restraining orders. I mean, that's really bad and they're not doing their job. You have to sue her in Minnesota if you want to. Jurisdiction really applies in Minnesota, apparently. So I'm assuming you would have to have a restraining order on there too for Minnesota. You know what I mean? You have to do it in Minnesota. Oh, speaking of down the rabbit hole, McCrae exclusive police report. What the hell is this police report for? I don't know. It's got Dre McCrae and it's got Molly Golightly on the thumbnail. We should go watch it and see what's up. No, I have a restraining order on someone in Oregon. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Just because the reason why I'm saying this is with the Toddy Westbrook lawsuit, she tried to sue KJ, but it wasn't the right jurisdiction. It wasn't in Minnesota, is all I mean. So it seems to be jurisdiction with everything with this lady, with KJ, I mean. So I'm just thinking, like, unless they hand her that restraining order or TRO in her own jurisdiction, would it even apply? I have no idea. Let's see what MGL is in for. Yeah, I don't know. Joe. I was going to go check out down the rabbit hole and see what's up. The sheriff in his county served him for me and mailed it. Yeah. So maybe it could be a jurisdiction thing. I don't know. I'm going to have to look up Minnesota. If you have 14 TROs, will there be only one judge that will know? Or will it stay in that county or in Minnesota, wherever the hell she is, Hanover or whatever? All right, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna get off here. I want you guys to have a great night. It was lovely talking to you guys, and I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, well, I've been asked to cover the Indigenous children that were murdered thanks to Canadian religious schools and trying to make them reform. It was fucking disgusting. And I'm going to cover it. It was done last year. This happened last year. They're still uncovering more bodies. And I think that we should cover it. I also think that we should do the US side too, because they were a part of some of it as well. With criminal justice reform, it's very possible she was 14 and authorities just don't care. Yeah, maybe, right? That's what I mean. They could, yeah. $10 says she will deflect and throw someone under the bus. You're welcome, Heavenly Cow. And honestly, I wish I could help you more. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Okay, good. So we'll talk on that. I'm going to do it tomorrow. So I've got some videos. I've got some websites I want to read some articles from and stuff like that. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 seems to be my time. So from now on, I'm just going to say I'm going live at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be tomorrow night. Saturday and Sunday. I do tend to go live when I'm not busy because it's something, like if my son's off playing outside and I've done, my crap for the day or done my dishes or whatever that I need to do, did stuff around the house. It's like, what could I do? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go live. There's always something to talk about, That's why nobody knows when I go live on Saturday, Sunday, really, because I don't plan it. I just do it. But it's only on the weekend. Tomorrow's planned. At least I think I have a thumbnail for it, don't I? No, I don't think I do. Damn it. You should cover it. It's real. Yeah, I'm going to. It needs to be done. Thanks, Heavenly Cow, but so are you, and I hate what's happening to you. I studied in the social studies. Wow. All right, I want you guys to have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. I got to work on the thumbnail. I thought I made one, but apparently not. So I do need to do that. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Bye.